Randy, the question I'd like to ask is, what is the self, and why does a self-centered perspective presuppose separated thinking?
Oh, let's just get to the hard stuff, right? Okay. First, we have to talk about where it all began. We have to talk about the fact that in Scripture, in both Isaiah chapter 14 and Ezekiel chapter 28, tells us the events of Lucifer's rebellion. And Lucifer's rebellion was a rebellion of self. Up until that time, there was a collective. I mean, everything was collective in the spirit realm, in eternity. When he withdrew into himself, and the Scripture calls that evil. When evil was found in him, that everything changed. Now, we inherited from Lucifer's rebellion, and through Adam and Eve's act of disobedience, we inherited our sense of self, which is independence, it's separation. Norman Grubb says it this way. Norman Grubb says that what the Scripture identifies as sin is, in one phrase, independent self. So in other words, we don't sin. We're not separated because we sin. We sin because we're separated. So that was the initial cleaving, the initial schism between us and Papa, and up until that time, we had perfect fellowship. So the fix is overcoming self. And that's why Revelation, I think in like 8 different places, talks about, to him who overcomes will I. And in fact, in Revelation chapter 3, he says, to him who overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, as I have sat down with my Father in his throne. And so the objective is overcoming. Well, that begs the question then. Since Jesus has overcome sin and death and Satan and hell, and he carried away the gates of hell and transferred paradise into heaven, I mean, what is left for us to overcome? Well, me. The original taint of Lucifer's rebellion that remains in me is the thing that now I struggle to overcome and you struggle to overcome, and is the thing then that qualifies us to reign with Christ on his throne. That's why if you notice on the discipleship puzzle, it's the central piece. It's right in the middle and connected to everything, and everything relates to that, because our central struggle is not only being transformed into the image of Christ, but transforming out of our independent self.